So somebody was asking me about Blue Sky speakers because I made a comment in another video about them, how they're not great speakers at all. And I should give you some backstory on them. And it all starts off with Chris Fischera. Chris Fischera is a good friend of mine. I've known him since the TechCom days. He used to be the DDA rep, and I sold a couple DDA consoles. And then when I moved to, I think it was Medley, he brought me the Bronner Valvet, and I sold a ton of them, those microphones. And then he brought me Sound Deluxe microphones, and I did very good by him. And he's always, I really trusted his opinion. And when I got involved in Quested, I talked to him about that, and he says, I think it's a good line. You should get involved with it. And he had nothing to do with the line. So I've known him for a long, long time. He's from the area that I'm in right now. He lives out in California. But he started Blue Sky. Also, Chris was half of Group One Marketing, which is kind of a rep firm, and they handled a bunch of big lines. But he started with, I think, another guy, Blue Sky Speakers. And I remember him bringing me the 2.1 system, which was novel at the time, that you sold two speakers with the subwoofer as a package. And they were very reasonable, and I listened to them, and they were okay. They didn't knock me out, but Chris is a good friend, so I was going to try as hard as I could to sell them. And then they had their 5.1 system, and then they had the controller. And I bought for myself a 5.1 system, and I sold a bunch of them. I'm pretty sure I sold one to Serban. I sold a 5.1 system to Bon Jovi, and everybody, this was based on my enthusiasm, and the price was so reasonable. They bought them, but what they found out later is they didn't sound good. What the Bon Jovi, and I think Serban was using them this way too, is they were setting them up as a 5.1 system, but just using them for positioning the instruments, not for mixing, because the mixes were not coming out right. So that's how I sold a bunch of them, and even the ones I had, I couldn't take them. They just sounded like I was mixing with earmuffs on. I just couldn't hear what was going on. It was just very, it wasn't predictable what I wanted out of them. So I gave mine away. I gave them to my sister, and I gave them to some other people. I couldn't even sell them. Now this is all early 2000. I haven't sold any since then. So here we are 20 years later. I don't know what they sound like now, but I'm going by when I sold the 2.1 and the 5.1 systems, and with their controllers back then. I know they tried to get in some bigger monitors. That didn't work out too good because they never completed the bigger monitors. Now, I know they have some tiny monitors, but I never really paid attention to small, tiny monitors, because bottom line, tiny monitors are tiny monitors. They're not gonna do what the bigger monitors do. The bigger monitors just give you more. So somebody wanted my opinion. There you go. I wouldn't recommend them. If you find them cheap, I still would stay away from them. I'm sorry, and you got to consider Chris Fischera is a good friend of mine, and I would do anything to help him out, but I just can't endorse or tell people to try those speakers out. So there you go.